Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Coldborough Park Farm, where today it's time to buy a new cultivator. We've sold off the one that we have. The T7 has conveniently just finished the field we're about to cultivate. We're going to buy the Vaderstad top-down 500, which hopefully will work reasonably well with the John Deere. So what we're going to do real quick is just turn this off. And just because I know Courseplay derps a bit. Have a look at this field, and yep, we need to do a bit of extra ploughing. That was the wrong button. Unfold the plough, please. Unfold the... What the... Whatever happened there? I couldn't unfold the plough. That was definitely odd. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a manual headland here because I can see that it missed a bit. Actually going to close down that course entirely. I'm going to do a manual headland and just clean up the bits that Courseplay missed. Because this is, this is work that does need to be done. I missed a bit there myself. This thing, oddly enough, is behaving as if it's got an extra wheel on it, which really shouldn't be. You can see the bit that Courseplay did miss, which is, that's fine, it's not a lot. Take up that menu, put that away, put the weather forecast away. We don't need the extended forecast right now. We'll be putting the T7 to work on other fields as well. Where's my mouse? There it is. T7 does need to go to work on the other fields as well because they all need ploughing. And the T7 is pretty much the only tractor we have that's powerful enough to pull the plough. I did have to take out a small $1 million loan. No, a small loan to cover the costs of the cultivator because I couldn't get quite enough money, which is fine. We'll be sending off silage soon enough and getting about... Well, we'll be making and selling silage, and we'll be getting probably up near 100,000 for that, which means we should be fairly cushy for money. Once again, I do like having a reasonable amount in kind of savings. Last time we sold silage, we could afford this thing. Next time, we'll be able to pay back the loan and hopefully get a bit of cash just to play around with. There's a couple of mods that I'd like to get working, and one of them is the Clark forklift, which for some reason just refuses to purchase. And I'm going to look into what could be causing that issue in the near future. It is a conflict of some description. I'm just wondering what it's conflicting with. And as of yet, I have no idea. But the Clark forklift is something I've been trying to get working, desperately trying to get working, for the past few weeks to like a month or so. It's the same forklift Landy uses, and I'll be making some similar changes to what he did, basically making it free to use and purchase and all that good stuff, because it's going to be the shop's forklift, and we'll be using that to load up the trailers at the shop when that time comes, and we might use it around the yard as well. A small bit. This field, I think the boundaries might have changed slightly since the first version of Coldborough. Because it does seem to... the plough does seem to have behaved in a very odd manner. That it's missing like entire segments of the field. But it could just be the course blade doesn't quite know what to do with this thing. Course blade is still work in progress and I haven't updated it in a while, so probably it needs an update. I'll update it actually after this video. It's gonna be faster to just drive down to the section I need to get to now. There's quite a distance back over here. Wonderful. Wonderful dabby-dooza. Wonderful dabby-dooda. Whatever you want to say there for being good in general. We're not going to seed just yet. We're going to wait until spring to seed. Because you'll have seen, if you watch old streams, you'll know that I've had a couple of issues with soybeans specifically just refusing to grow on the first day of spring. So I'll get the soil up to a reasonable temperature and get soybeans in. And kind of seed everything else at the same time. We will be renting a sugar beet. No, we won't need to rent a sugar beet seeder. I lie. I am wrong. Which is nothing new. We will be planting sugar beets because we got a corn seeder already, and that thing can plant beets. So the 4 crops we'll be using for the pigs will be corn, wheat or barley. I'll probably end up growing both anyway. Soybean, well, canola, because not, you get a bit more canola for your buck than you do soybean. Corn, wheat or barley, canola, and sugar beets. And if I can afford it, I'll try and get the CCM mod working at some point, because that will give us, I think, like full pig feed and gives you a bonus for corn and whatnot. The only downside is it does take up a silage bunker, which by the looks of certain people's videos, the silage bunkers on Coldborough are fixed now, which is always nice to see. I might shoot Bill a message and ask him what exactly the issue was, because that was a really strange one. That's something that I've never seen happen before, so I'm tempted to send Bill a message and just say, hey, what exactly went wrong with the silage pits? And but if you're watching, feel free to leave a comment with what exactly went wrong, because I'm really curious. Like, on the level of, I'm making a map and I want to figure out, I want to know what went wrong, so if I have the same problem for some reason, I will know how to fix it. And it could very easily have been the pits he was using, because I did notice the silage pit in the cow yard has suddenly changed. It could very easily have been the something wrong with the actual the pit models he was using. So we're getting close to being done with the ploughing here already, which isn't that big of a surprise. There wasn't that much to do. Just a case of neatening up the corners a tad. Once this is done, we can grab the cultivator and hopefully get going with that. Now I will need to get a 3-meter seeding or a 3-meter course going on field. That looks like field 8, I think. Yeah, field 8. Just to get the plough going over there. I may do some of this off camera. I may just leave the T7 going throughout streams during the week, throughout the streams. And by the way, for those of you who don't already know, the streams will be at normal times this week, or are at the normal times this week. So we're on field 8, 3-meter seeding course. It is a seeding course is the intent, but it's being used as a... Where's the first waypoint? Am I going in the right direction? Yes, I am. And we can, in fact, get rid of all these points and just make them invisible. Invisible points. And drive to the first waypoint as we get into the deer. Joe, let's just do a bit of in-cab. Bit of in-cab with the wheel. Never hurt anyone. Except me, because my microphone is right beside my face. And literally out of my left eye, all I can see is the pop filter. Which isn't exactly ideal. But that's... The reason it's so close, by the way, is because it is dying at the moment. I've been talking to Sim and he's been watching a couple of videos and he has noticed that it is becoming... There's more and more digital noise every week. Which means that the microphone is becoming weaker and weaker every week. And I do have a what could be a temporary spare on the way. It will be my spare microphone. It is literally one of the cheapest microphones I can find on eBay. I have no shame in saying that because I'm just looking for something that'll work for long enough that I can save up for the microphone I do want. And for those of you who don't know, the microphone I do want is a Blue Yeti. Don't have the money for that right now. So I'm just going to get a cheapo one delivered to me from China, and hopefully it's at an acceptable level. There's so much that I don't like about it already, including the fact that it's 3.5mm audio jack instead of USB or... Well, XLR is a bit overkill. And those of you who actually know about microphones know what I'm talking about here. XLR is the 3-pin plug, USB is, well, USB, and 3.5mm jack is what your headphones you will probably be using. The 3.5mm doesn't provide a lot of power though, which concerns me. Because USB can provide more power, and it's a bit of a cleaner noise coming out of it. 3.5mm, there's a very good chance of electronic interference from the PC itself. And yes, I know these things. This may surprise some of you that I actually know what I'm looking for and what to expect. Because, you know, I know you guys like to think of me as a bit of a fool, but when it comes to... I'm gonna go across the field because that's the way that I plowed. This might be a bit of an easier way to do it as well. So let's get GPS set up here like that, and that's a good place to start off. And conveniently, this thing does have green star, so the sounds are relatively correct for this tractor. Can this thing pull the... Yeah! It needs 250 horsepower and you got a John Deere. I bet you never thought I'd say that one. Oh, that's why this thing requires 200. This Deere is struggling up a slight incline. This is going to go well. Does help if I lift the cultivator as well. But, yeah. This should go relatively quickly if the Deere is actually going to perform at the level it's performing at right now. The microphone I got ordered should hopefully arrive in the next week or two. And I'll run some tests and some test recordings and actually have to listen to my own voice, good lord. And see what it's like. Because if it's better than the one I've got right now, by some minor miracle if it's better than that, we'll be using it on a more permanent basis until I can afford the Blue Yeti. Because the Yeti is the microphone that... There's a reason everybody uses the Blue Yeti. Let's face it. When something's good, people use it for a reason. And if the microphone's bad, well, it's intended as a spare. Doesn't... My main priority is getting videos and streams out to you guys, and audio quality will have to come second in that situation, because I'd prefer to have bad audio on my voice than no commentary. which the week after next you might get on videos. They might all be time lapses because I don't think I'll be able to stream that week. In fact, I'm planning to not stream that week. Just because I fully expect there to be a lot of noise coming from the bathroom, which is directly under my desk. Because I've said it a few times, we're getting a whole new bathroom into the house, and the builders have said, the guy that we're getting in to do it has basically said, yeah, that's going to be a week-long job, dude. He's setting the entire week aside, which means that from Monday to Friday, I probably won't be able to stream. Or record videos. Well, I might be able to record videos with commentary, but streaming, not so much. I may need a more powerful tractor. I mean, this thing is cultivating just fine, but it's not really doing it at any sort of speed. Which means that I'll probably need to use the T7 again. And it also means that selling the 7430 was a bad idea. Dang it, Dave, you idiot. But we are getting the field cultivated, slowly but surely. And I'm sorry for calling you Shirley. Now, we are getting the field cultivated, albeit slowly, which means that we are progressing in field work. And just because I forgot to just flight in the HUD mode, let's get the GPS lines off. Doot 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 doot. There we go. Now we got a nice, clean, as a whistle view of our beautiful John Deere 6030 ploughing. Not ploughing, cultivating. We're gonna go right up to the field edge here. There we go. This thing is struggling so badly. I mean, granted, the cultivator is bigger than the tractor, which means I should have guessed that it would struggle, but I didn't expect it to struggle this much. I really didn't. I was expecting it to be like, oh, well, there's a minor issue with this because it's a big cultivator on a small tractor, but no, there's a major issue with this because it's a giant cultivator on a small tractor. Let's get the lights on here. It almost looks as if, because of the way the shadows are working, the farmer has a beard. That's... I approve of that. Let's even get the beacons going. We'll take a few more screenshots of this. Because I do like... I do like taking nice screenshots of field work. Especially when it's on GPS. Let's even take one from this side, because it's rare enough that I take one from this kind of an angle. I'll turn off all the lights, because I don't like the light. The fog lights, as I call them. So there's the T7 really just pounding that field. Good lord, it's making incredible progress with the plough. I wasn't expecting... It's... T7 don't care. Wow. I'm starting to get the distinct feeling that I probably should have got something a bit bigger. Well, I probably should have waited until I sold off the silage I'll be making in a couple of days in game, and got something like the 8 series, the 8R. But it's too late for that now. I have made my bed. I must lie in it. I won't be cultivating this entire field today and on camera. I will be leaving some of it until well, I will have left some of it for Wednesday's stream and Thursday's stream and today's stream. Because while we're making reasonable progress, I do want to leave things to do for the streams, and I'll probably actually fast forward time and get the ploughing done before I probably should have bought a second plough, actually. I may still do that. I may buy a second plough and get this guy into the field with a 4-furrow. Just because that would actually be... That wouldn't be a bad idea. If I get this guy into a second field with the 4-furrow, we can get twice as much ploughing done. And field 5 is particularly of interest to me, because that can provide the sugar beets. Fields 4 and 5 can just be sugar beet fields. Especially seeing as this guy just doesn't want to pull the cultivator too well. I mean, if we can get all the ploughing done, realistically we're good until spring. Because we can get the T7 on the cultivator in springtime. It's not a bad call, Dave. I'll have to think about that. I'll really have to think about that. Because that looks amazing. The T7 just in the second field with the plough. Oh wow, that's... yeah, that's quite actually awesome. And how are we going with this line here? We're nearly done with this lane. I think we'll get one more in and then call this a video. Because I know you guys are going to get annoyed by the fact that I'm pretty much destroying this deer. I'm sure there'll be one or two comments saying, "Why are you trying to do this, you maniac? That poor John Deere. What did John Deere ever do to you?" They annoyed me is what they did to me. No. This was a bad idea, and I accept that. And I am in no way sorry for what I'm doing. Because this field does need to be cultivated, and damned if I'm doing it with a 3-meter cultivator again. I mean, yeah, it probably would have been quicker, but it looks cooler having a trade cultivator like this. It just does. The one thing is I'm going to have to be very careful with what fields I decide to seed with corn, because the corn seeder I have is only 3 meters. And it's got a very low capacity. It's the Amazon one. So that's going to have to be... I'll have to consider that pretty carefully. I must say, this field does look nice when it's cultivated. Even with the bits of cloud texture in the middle of it. It's cultivating nicely. The deer is working reasonably well. And what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to just skirt around the tree like that. And we can get another lane or two in, I think. I might get the Pro Seed mod and replace the crop destruction with Pro Seed. Because the only reason I got crop destruction really is because I like tram lines. And the Pro Seed mod does it in a more realistic way, where you turn off sections of the seeder to produce tram lines, and more importantly, it does work with GPS. This thing needs a really wide berth, good lord. There we go. It is slipping downhill a small bit, I think. But it is also cultivating nicely. It's ripping the ground up and leveling it off. And it's just... yeah, this deer is struggling so much. I feel sorry for it, but at the same time, it's a John Deere, so I don't I don't have too many feelings for it. The only thing I genuinely like about the 6 Series Deers is the funky square cab. I do like these little lines on the back of the cab. I don't know why they're there, but they're cool. And this thing will definitely be something that I'll be using for mowing and windrowing and stuff like that. Because around here it's pretty common to see these things pulling silage trailers and balers and mowers and all that kind of stuff. The T7, I'll probably use that in time as well. Because there is a reason. That thing's gonna look awesome with triple mowers attached. Butterfly mowers on that thing is gonna look awesome. And I do have a Krone Big M, or Krona Big M, whichever you want to call it. I'm not too fussy. I do have a Big M ready for when we do get more fields, and probably won't happen on this map, but Sandy Bay. When we get a few fields going on that, a few grass fields, I do have a Big M to make things a bit easier for silage baling. Because that way we can just run over once with the Big M, bale up some silage and be done with it. Especially with, and you guys probably know now, the Coon DLC coming soon, the start of February, so it could already have been announced by Giants, but the first DLC is more or less confirmed to be Coon, via some, a leak from SteamDB and Giants making some puns about rapping. I can safely assume that the Coon DLC is going to be a square bale wrapper, because Coon might make one of those, possibly a 3-point hitch round bale wrapper, because Coon make one of those, and a combi baler. And what a combi baler is, it's a baler and wrapper combination. That's what I want. Other than the square bale wrapper, of course. And hopefully by the time this video goes out, I will have a small baler. Small square baler. For use on, well, for trolling purposes. And the likes of old streams, where I think the big square bales are maybe a bit overkill, and a small baler would be more than enough. But I'm going to leave the video here, because I don't think you guys want to see me cultivating this entire field at 4 miles an hour, which is probably the speed I'm going. So I will leave you now by saying I've been RainbowDave, you've been watching Farming Simulator 17 on Coldborough Park Farm. If you enjoyed the video, please do hit the like button. If you're new here, please do remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell to know whenever there's a video or a stream coming up from me. But until next time, stay safe, and goodbye.